The Winnipeg Comedy Festival proudly presents Virgin Territory. And now a man wading into uncharted waters, your host, Gavin Crawford.
Thank you. Hello, Winnipeg. Wow. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here. I am Gavin Crawford. Tonight's show is called Virgin Territory. Yes, it's all about first times, new experiences. I grew up gay in Southern Alberta, so I'm familiar with this theme, as I spent the first 23 years of my life in Virgin Territory. But I've had a number of firsts in my life. Not too long ago, I entered a bold new chapter in my life. I am hosting a national radio show now. Yes, that's right. I'm doing my career in reverse. 20 years ago, I started with my own TV show, and I worked my way all the way to radio. Catch me next year in my niece's high school play. But it is super fun. I love it, although it's a bit weird for me being on the radio, because I've always had kind of a love-hate relationship with CBC Radio. I mean, you know, of course, we love it, don't we? It's a national institution. But, you know, CBC Radio can be, how do I put this politely? A little dry at times. I mean, you know, some of the people that call into CBC Radio, like, it's not so much that they're uninteresting, it's that they're aggressively uninteresting. Not anyone in this room, obviously, but like the other day, I heard this on CBC Radio. I heard a person on CBC Radio actually say, "Today on the program, we're talking about lineups. Call us with your fascinating lineup stories." There's no such thing as a fascinating lineup story. That's not a thing. I mean, you would never hear that on American Talk Radio. American Talk Radio is fully crazy 100% of the time. American Talk Radio is like, today on the program, we're asking the question, at what stage is a fetus legally allowed to own a handgun? And we are taking your calls. So you just don't get that on CBC Radio, which I am very grateful for. Instead, you get amazing phone calls like this one, which is pretty much an accurate recreation of a call I heard once while I was driving across the prairies. A guy called in, he was like, yeah, hello, this is Ken calling from Creek River. I couldn't help but call in when I heard you were looking for interesting stories about packaging. I had a really funny thing happen to me a few weeks ago. You know, what happened was I was trying to open this pack of batteries. And, well, we'd had a power failure, and I needed batteries for the flashlight, of course. But I just, you know, I could not get the darn things open, And, of course, after I was struggling for a bit, I thought, well, I'll just go to the kitchen, you know, to get a knife, maybe. And here's where it starts to get real interesting. So, of course, I go to the kitchen, and we live in a ranch-style bungalow, so it wasn't too far of a way to go. Anyway, that's not the funny part. Anyway, there I am trying to jimmy my way into these batteries, you know, with this knife, and I don't know, it was a paring knife maybe, or a steak knife. Anyway, that's not really germane, but of course, my hand slipped, you know, and up comes the knife and cut my forehead open. Yeah, it was quite comical, but also a very large gash. So, you know, to make a long story short, quick trip to the emergency, and 15 stitches later, and you know, God bless Canadian healthcare. I'm all fixed up, but yeah, of course, I never did get the darn batteries open, but the funny thing is, now I got a kind of a lightning-shaped scar on my forehead, and yeah, the wife likes to tease me. You know, she calls me Harry Potter. After the boy wizard, you know, from the book of the same name. And of course, I always tease her back, you know. I say, well, it's a good thing I'm not a wizard, or you'd have disappeared years ago. I'd have a wife that enjoys intercourse. Anyhow, thanks for taking my call. Oh. Bless CBC Radio. And the new chapter of my life as one of their minions. How are you guys doing? Are you ready for your first act? Yeah! Having kids is always a new experience. I think about it, personally, just, finding a lesbian friend of mine to be a surrogate for me. For a while I thought about that, and then I thought again and thought, nope, rather have a boat. Of course, I would still need a lesbian to drive it, boat. Our next performer went the opposite route. Please welcome new parent, Dave Hemstad.
Hey, all right. Woo! Thank you. It's great to be here, because I'm a new dad, and it's wonderful to be out of the house. I have a baby at home that I'm learning to love. So I'm the dad, and you have to learn to love it. The women in here don't get it, because you love the babies before they exist. You spend 9 months falling in love with this magical creature that's growing inside you. And you love it long before we ever get to meet it. You just, I think I felt something. I love it. I love it so much. Feel my tummy. Feel it. I don't feel it. Feel it. Feel it and love it like I do. I love it. I love it so much. Whereas for the dad, you spend 9 months watching this same magical creature slowly turn the love of your life into a swollen psychopath. And then this slime-covered, cone-headed, alien half-look-alike thing comes slithering out of you. I'm supposed to love it? It's all I can do not to kill it. That's all. That's why they don't move when they're born. Because if it came out and started skittering, you'd hit it with a shoe at a minimum. It was, look at that thing. Wow. No wonder you've been nuts. That's been inside you? Oh, it's still tied to you. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now, we're miracle parents too. You should know that. I'm a miracle. One half of a miracle team because we're both over 40. And apparently you're not supposed to make babies anymore over 40. I didn't know that. We found out because if you're pregnant around the 4 or 5 month mark, there's a test you can get to find out the diagnostics, the full schematics of the baby, but it costs like $1,000. Unless, of course, you're both over 40, in which case, no charge. Your money's no good here. Yeah, on behalf of the citizens of Canada, we'd like to take a look. We're all real curious how your ancient seed was able to penetrate her cobwebby uterus and make life, because it shouldn't have happened. There shouldn't be a baby in there, but there is. So let's have a look. Hop up in the stirrups if you can without breaking a hip, dear. Let's get you up there. See what kind of loaf of bread with eyes you two are making. It's insane. And then you have the baby. And the hardest part for a guy is I know as a man how long it takes me to get from A to B when I go out in the world. And I know this because my whole life in my 20s, like all guy, you walk through the world hoping maybe one day some gal's gonna stop you. Tell you look nice. Say, how you doing? Nice effort today. Just something like that. And you know, after all those years of nope, nobody never, you learn how long it takes you to get through the world. But then you have a baby and every woman on earth stops you every 3 steps to take your baby from you. But every one of them just goes, oh, who's this? I'm Dave. Yeah, you're late. This one don't care about you. They'll take your baby. Mothers whose children who've grown up, especially, they can't help themselves. They take your baby because they want to smell it. They try to be clandestine about it, but when they get a hit, they turn in. It's pretty scary because they'll take it. Oh, may I? Oh, she's so cute. Oh, look at her. Oh, she's really such a nice baby. Quit sucking her soul out of her head, you old witch. She's not a fountain of youth. Give me my baby back. They do smell great. And I figured out what that smell is. It's a clear conscience. They've never screwed anybody over. They've never told a lie. It's a pure soul. That's what that's. Why do they smell so good? It's a really, really good person. That's what those smell like. Which also explains why old people reek. Go to your grandparents' house. Just walk in. Oof. Oh, what is that smell? That's regret and war crimes. You're not gonna Febreze that out of the couch. That's decades of disappointment. That's gonna marinate. That's why they're always baking. Man, you smell cookies? Good. Get that in you. That's better than my poor choices. You're gonna like that a lot. Thanks very much, Winnipeg. Fun as always. See you again.
Take a bite of something new with Ivan Decker next on the Winnipeg Comedy Festival.
You know, you can immediately tell a lot about a new restaurant by the way that the staff speaks to you. For instance, not too long ago, I was at a very upscale place, and the very kind washroom attendant actually took the time to ask me, "Why are you peeing in the sink?" And I think that is a sign of whether or not a place is classy. Almost as classy as our next performer, Ivan Decker!
Winnipeg, hello. How are you? This is so great. What a time to be alive. The new experience that I had, I'm obviously always in pursuit of new experiences, and recently one that I did is I went to a themed restaurant where the theme is that you eat everything in the dark. Ooh, it's in the dark. Some of you may have heard of this. It is a trend sweeping the nation. People tell you to go, oh, you should go eat in the dark, because the darkness enhances your ability to taste the flavors. And it does not. What it does enhance is your inability to know whether or not there's anything on your fork. But these places are in business, and I think it's because of the curiosity, right? People want to know, what's it like? What's it like to eat in a dark restaurant? Well, it's very easy to find out. All you have to do is go to any restaurant and close your eyes. That is it. But it's frustrating because you can't see anything. But you're not alone in the room. It's a restaurant. There's other people in there, and you want to know what's going on. So you have to glean information using your ears, like a bat. You have to just listen. What's happening around me? And all you hear from every direction is just people going, whoops, careful. Oop. Oh, excuse me. Oh, whoop. Oops. Clank. What was that? Did that spill? I don't know. I can't see. Was it full? It sounded full. How do we check? Touch it. See if it's wet. It's wet. It definitely spilled. Was it yours? No, mine's right here. No, that's mine. Uh-oh. The one thing I did enjoy about that restaurant, though, is even though you can't see anything, you become aware that nobody can see you, which is great, because that means no table manners. So my girlfriend was like, I'm having trouble getting the salad onto my fork. Is that happening to you? I was like, you're still using your fork? Why? I just don't understand why we are trying to overcomplicate the restaurant experience. Because restaurants are difficult enough. I already get anxiety. I travel a lot. I have to go to restaurants by myself. And it's hard because if there's a problem at a restaurant, the server will never just believe you. You always have to go to restaurant court. They gotta have a little trial right at the table. This isn't what I ordered. Yes, it is. Here we go. And when you're alone, it's even worse because you don't have any friends. You have no key witnesses you can call. You have to just plead your case. Last time it happened, I was like, okay, well, hey, do you remember earlier when we were talking and I said, hey, this thing that comes with rice, can I get it with noodles? And you said yes, and I trusted you. But now, let the record show, here we are with rice. And the server was like, I'm pretty sure you asked for rice. I'm like, really? Because I remember the conversation, and I don't think it went like this. Hey, this thing that comes with rice, can I get it with rice? No one would do that. I would have just ordered it. I don't read a menu and then not believe you. Like, hey, this thing comes with rice, right? I really want rice. I know it says rice, but I don't believe you. I want to know there's rice. Can you make sure there's rice? They're walking away. I'm like, rice, 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 rice. They turn around. I'm like, it's me. I'm saying rice. Bring rice. The bill payment, I don't mind. I don't mind paying the bill at a restaurant. It can be stressful, but now it's better because they have a portable debit machine they can bring to the table, which I enjoy. Because before that machine, if you wanted to pay with debit, you had to follow them on like a weird debit quest. You're like, I'm gonna pay with debit. They're like, ugh, come with me. But now they bring the machine to the table, which is great. I love the machine. I love the title, The Machine. That's what we call it. We don't say what it is or what it does. How would you like to pay? Do you need the machine? Yes, bring me the machine! I love it. I like the machine. The only problem I have with it is that it takes time. There's a lag time with the machine, right? You gotta punch everything in, and then it's gotta go to space, and then the bank, and then find your account, and be like, overdraft for 3 ravioli? Okay. And while that's happening, the server has to stand there the whole time. They're just standing over you. Eventually they'll just be like, so, what are you doing after this? What's going on after this? I don't want to tell you. Also, why are you assuming anything? You just watched me eat 2 pieces of cake alone. Obviously, I'm going to bed. You saw me eat a piece of cake and then came up and said, anything else? And I said, yes, another piece of cake. What part of that made you think to yourself, wow, this guy's cooking up something good? Better ask him all about it before he leaves. I don't want to tell you. As a matter of fact, I would like a 3rd piece of cake and turn the lights out. I want to eat it in the dark. Thank you guys very much. Enjoy the rest of the show.
A rite of passage doesn't go right for Margaret Chaves. Next on the Winnipeg Comedy Festival.
Here with a childhood memory, the wonderful Martha Chaves.
Hey, Winnipeg, hola. Great to be here in the Virgin Territory, which is a territory that I sailed away from a long time ago. By applause, how many virgins in the crowd? Nobody? Wow, you're so progressive. Are you a virgin? What do virgins eat for dinner? You don't know because you're not a virgin. That's how my mother caught me. Because, you know, for Latin parents, to this day is so important that the daughters remain a virgin until their wedding night. Their sons, no. Their sons can cavort like tomcats all they want. And I wonder, when I was informed about that, you're gonna go to hell if you don't remain a virgin until marriage. I wonder, but who are the boys doing it with? And an older girl at school said, well, with the putas, with the whores. And in ancient times in South America, the indigenous people, they sacrificed virgins by throwing them into a volcano. I was a little girl when I heard that story, and I certainly didn't want to grow up to be a virgin. Mother Superior would ask me, and what do you want to be when you grow up, little girl? And I would say, I want to be a raving puta. That's what I want to be. I didn't want to go inside the volcano, right? But religion is very confusing for a child. Are there any Catholics in the crowd? Hold up your confusion. Catholics? Catholics? One of my fondest memories is my first communion. Do you remember your first communion? For those of you who are not of that faith, your first communion is when the first time that a Catholic child indulges in cannibalism. They tell you you're gonna eat the body of Christ. You know, at the age that the church decides is the age of reason, 7 years old. You're gonna eat the body of Christ. I don't want to eat the body of Christ. I'm a 7-year-old. I don't understand metaphors. And on top of it, in Nicaragua, it's not Santa Claus who brings the presents. It's the baby Jesus. So I thought, I'm gonna eat baby Jesus. There goes my Christmas. But then the nun explained to me, no, it's not baby Jesus who you're gonna eat. It's the crucified one there in the cross. And I said, no, I'd rather eat baby Jesus. Because he looks softer. Like a Kinder Surprise. And I was at the 2nd grade. What are you studying in the 2nd grade? Digestion. You learn that everything you eat comes out of your bum. I didn't want that grisly destiny for baby Jesus. I was tormented. I couldn't sleep at night. No, I don't want baby Jesus to come out of my mouth. I don't want to. And then one day, a miracle happened. I was chewing gum with bovine intensity. And then the nuns, they hated when you chew gum. Why? I don't know. Maybe because the gum is pink, and when you stretch it, it looks like a labia. I have no idea, but the nuns, they hate it. And and then she says to me, if you swallow your gum, it's going to stay forever in your stomach. Huh? So, the day of my first communion, I swallowed a huge chunk of bazooka. So baby Jesus would have a soft place to land. And he wouldn't come out of my bum. And now, when Christians come to my door, do you have Jesus in your heart? I say, no, I have him in my belly. Do you want to talk to him? Do you want to talk to him? Thank you very much, Winnipeg.
It's Derek Seguin's inaugural incarceration. Next on the Winnipeg Comedy Festival.
Please give it up for Adrienne Fish.
Hello! Oh, this is awesome. This is good. Yeah, this is great. I've actually a lot of big changes in my life recently. I recently made the switch from coffee to tea. Coffee to tea. Thank you. It's a big change. It's a different culture completely, you know? Like, you'll never hear someone being like, I need a tea, you know? Oh, chill, it's nice. I also moved into a new place, and I got a backyard for the first time in my life. I got a backyard. So for my housewarming, I wanted to have this little, like, backyard barbecue party, but I don't own a barbecue. So I had to go on Craigslist, and this is where the story gets a little shifty. So I go on Craigslist, and there's a girl giving away a free barbecue. Like a free barbecue. I was like, amazing. So I emailed her. I was like, yeah, 100%, I'll take it. She goes, great. Listen, tiny hiccup. I'm not going to be home tomorrow, but it's on my back porch, so just come grab it. I was like, oh, what could possibly go wrong here? So we rent a van, and we drive to this girl's place, and there's like a sweet little barbecue on her back porch. I'm like, oh my God, amazing. So we grab it, and we're like dragging it down the driveway, and one of the neighbors like peers outside her window. She's like this. So I just like waved to her. I was like, hey, grabbed the barbecue, tossed it in the van, drove off. The end. We had the housewarming. It was great, fantastic. Burgers were delicious. I get a call on Monday from the rental van company. And they're like, can we ask what you did when you rented the van? Because someone is accusing two girls of stealing their barbecue. I was like, what? I was like, that is not what happened. I told him all about the emails back and forth. He was like, okay, let me get back to you. So apparently, the girl that I was emailing was just some dude's like pissed off ex-girlfriend who was just giving his things away, right? Which is like a pretty good move. Like, that's pretty good. Me and my girlfriend thought we were being upstanding citizens. We're like, look at us, we're recycling the world's junk. But in actuality, what was happening was broad daylight. Me and my girlfriend had rolled up to this guy's house, just casually stole his barbecue, and then like waved to the neighbors as we bounced out of there. So I told the guy, I'm like, oh my God, I'm really sorry about this. Come grab your barbecue. Then he goes, no, you gotta bring it to me or I'm gonna press charges because you didn't practice your due diligence. I was like, what? Maybe you should have practiced your due diligence in your selection of relationships. And secondly, now I know why this woman broke up with you. Like, what a total schmuck, right? But I don't want to go through the whole like court procedure and all that energy, so I'm like, forget it. So I was like, I'll return the barbecue. But I started to think about, different ways that I could get back at him. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna steal his propane tank or sleep with his ex-girlfriend. What I really wanted to do, though, was I wanted to put, like, a little piece of dog crap underneath one of the coals of the barbecue, right? And then he'd be barbecuing, but oh my God, what's that smell? And then I'd just, like, pop up under his legs and be like, that's your due diligence, bitch! You guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much. I've been Adrienne Fish.
Here to talk about his first major brush with the law, the very funny Derek Seguin.
Hey, Winnipeg! It's so nice to be here to share my miserable first time getting arrested story. I'm not a bad person, please keep that in mind throughout this story. Actually, this is going to be a public service message to everybody, because this is how unlucky I am, is that I got arrested for a law I didn't even know exists in Canada. How many of you knew that it was illegal to sleep in your car when you're drunk? Exactly. Why would anybody know this? I see, they don't teach it in the driver's ed. It's not like, okay, parallel park and never sleep here. So that's the law. Just keep it in mind. It's illegal to sleep in your car when you're drunk and you have the key in the ignition, whatever, and the motor's running and the wheels are turning. No, I'm kidding. I wasn't drunk. I was just sleeping. I was just sleeping in the thing. And then the police, he come, he's wake me up. He's like, wake up, you're in big trouble, mister. So I'm usually super stressed when I see police. And this time, the police are telling me, you're in trouble, mister. And I didn't even have time to get stressed because I had had like 5 beer since my last pee and then just fell asleep in my car for an hour and a half. So when he wake me up, I was just like, oh, tabarnak, I gotta go. I just jump out of the car and run to the back of between our 2 cars, and then I discover another law I didn't know exists. I don't know if it's a law, but they really don't like it when you try to pee near the police car. I like it. So they stop me right away. They arrest me right there on the spot, and I'm like, fine, zip me up at least. Come on. So they wouldn't let me pee. Now I'm in the back of the police car. I have to pee so bad. I'm so bad. Like I'm so bad I have to pee. I'm doing this trick. Right, guys? All guys, we do this. I don't know what the hell this is. It's just like I'm gonna crush my nuts over and over again to distract myself from the fact that I have to pee. What the hell that trick is? Finally, we get to the police station. I'm like, Lolo, okay, les gars, can I go to the toilet? And they're like, no. We have to check your record to make sure you're not wanted for other crimes or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I killed all those people. Blah, 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 blah. Just let me pee. I'll sign whatever you want. And they're like, no. So they're gonna put me in jail. And I've seen jail on TV, right? All the jail, they have the toilet there that you have to pee and shit in front of other people. Right? So at least they're gonna bring me to a place with a toilet. No, not even that lucky. Because I was drunk, they just put me in the drunk tank. I learned what that is. It's not the same as a usual jail. Like I thought, at least for my Virgin Territory gala, I'll have a fun story about being behind bar or whatever with a tin cup going, kring, grang. Not even a cool jail. The drunk tank, it's just a regular room. It's just a pink room. And they know it's easier to capture drunk people, I guess, because they don't need a heavy metal bar or anything. All they need was just don't put a doorknob on their side. They closed the door and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, I'm caught here. It was probably a push. Drunk people are too stupid. So I was just like, okay, Derek, mind over matter, you can beat this. And so I just crouch down, I get down on Tibon, I'm trying to like cinch it, whatever. I go like that, I'm like, oh. And I got some relief. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks God. And then I fall back to sleep. Like 10 minutes though. That's all I slept was like 10 minutes. And then the police comes like, okay, Mr. Seguin, we checked. You can go pee now. So I stand up and I'm like, all right, let's go. Son of the bitch. Yeah, what do you think happened during my little nap? You guys thought I peed myself. No, I didn't. I got a morning boner. And what did this? It's like my penis realized where it was. Like, hey, I've never been to jail before. What's going on out there? I've only got one good eye. I can't see. So now I've got this. It's a morning and pee boner, right? So you know what those like? It's double, like an angry baby arm. I see, just like, argh! Just a heavy duty. And now we go to the toilet. And I'm just like, how am I gonna, like, why did the person that invented the toilet just make one hole down there? It's a guy that we should have invented a multi-tier system with splash guard and like a roof rebounder thing. It's like, well, how am I gonna do this? I was telling the police, can you hold my leg for a second? Just trying to figure out how to do it. And then I discovered biology, right? I discovered this, and gentlemen, you can test this at home when you go. I noticed that when you get an erection, your erection fuses itself to your spine. And I know this because I tried to bend down my penis and I went with it. I was like, it's like one of those wooden ducks in the Japanese garden, just like, zoop. All right. So now I'm also thinking, okay, I'm thinking like abstract drunk thinking, right? When I have a soft penis, right, it's in that shape. That's the shape. That's the shape of the soft penis. But the pee always come out in the same shape as the penis. So when the penis is like soft, the pee come out like that. So now I'm looking at this thing, I think, holy cow, it's gonna come out like a laser. See, I hope they've reinforced this toilet. So I make sure to aim really good. And then I start to pee. Didn't come out like a laser, everybody. It came out more like somebody put their thumb over the hose. Or there was somebody in the toilet with like a leaf blower, just pee was going everywhere except in the toilet. Like going on my chin and stuff. I'm like, hey, I lost my grip on it. And then now I'm full of pee, I'm humiliated, I'm in trouble, I'm in jail, and that's when the policeman standing behind me saw the little bag of weed sticking out of my pocket. Thank you so much, everybody. This has been a hoot. You're beautiful, I love you, thank you.
Up next, Big Daddy Tazz has a lot of heart.
This next performer has a lot of heart and also a lot of pills for that heart. Please welcome Big Daddy Tazz.
Well, thank you very much. That's awesome. You know, I use humor all the time, especially when I'm scared, right? So when I thought I was having a heart attack a few years ago, it was no surprise that I started using humor. I thought the 911 call was going to come like this, you know. 911, what's your emergency? You know, I think I'm having a heart attack. Maybe you could send somebody over to confirm or deny that. That'd be awesome, right? It didn't go like that at all. Not even close. I've heard the 911 tape. They played the 911 tape at one of my shows. It goes, boom, 911, what's your emergency? Oh, something's wrong. Sir, something's wrong, really wrong, something's wrong. And then the phone hits the ground because my arm collapsed. I pick it up, really wrong, sir. Sir, do you want me to send an ambulance? Or the ice cream truck? So they send one, not an ice cream truck, but they send an ambulance. They send an ambulance. The first guy walks in, he says, hey, to let you know by law, we're a training ambulance. I said, okay, well, I didn't see the wheels on the outside, right? I said, what's a training ambulance? He says, well, one of us is a fully trained medical supervisor, and the rest of us are in different stages of training. I said, okay, which one are you? He says, what do you think you're having? I said, I think I'm having a heart attack. He goes, fucking cool. So I knew probably not the most trained guy. Like, he wanted a stabbing, right? You got a chubby guy having a heart attack. Well, we'll put that on there. Right. And then he says to me, okay, we got to make sure you're having a heart attack. I said, okay, how do you do that? He says, we got to do the STEMI program. I said, what's the STEMI program? He pulls a bag out and then pulls 12 wires out. And he goes, we got to put these on your nipples. That's what I heard. We have to put these on your nipples. Now, I'm not good at math. But I'm really good at greater than and less than, right? And I only got 2 nipples. I'm pretty sure you're only supposed to have 2. I don't look at other guys at the gym because, like, I don't go to the gym, right? So he's got me all hooked up to this little Atari in the you know, ambulance there, and he sort of looks over. He reads the machine and goes, okay. Now he leans forward, like he's right, like he's gonna ask me to dance. And he leans in, he goes, okay, Tazz. He says, listen, you're having a heart attack, and this is a massive, massive heart attack. So I need you to remain calm. Well, maybe don't tell me I'm having a heart attack then. You see how this shit works, right? And then we're whipping along in the ambulance, and we're going all pretty good, eh? And then all of a sudden the ambulance comes to almost a complete stop. And they hear the driver go, yeah, we're not gonna make it, so I'm not gonna bother trying. Super curious at this point in time. He says we're not gonna make it. I think I'm gonna die, right? My first thought is I'm never gonna see my boys again. I can't even say that without getting a lump in my throat. And then I think, I'm never gonna make anybody laugh again. That's the only thing I'm good at. The only thing I love doing more than hanging out with my boys and making people laugh. And then my next thought was, oh shit. My wife had left me a list. She went away to the farm for the weekend. She phoned me that morning going, did you do the list? I went, yes, because I was gonna finish it. Either way, I'm dead. So I yell, what do you mean we're not gonna make it? The driver goes, oh, the asshole in front of us won't get out of the way, even though I got the thumper and the sirens going. I can't get around him, so I'm not gonna bother trying to make it. I said, well, you'd say that then. I thought I was gonna die. He says, no, you'll be okay, probably. They went in through my wrist, right there, that little mark right there. They went in right there. Dr. Farouk is the guy that saved my life. I love the guy a lot. He saved my life. And he's got an accent, like his name might indicate, a very calming accent. Now I'm awake the whole time. Geez, I hope I was supposed to be awake, because I was awake the whole time during the whole procedure. He's got his back to me. He's got my arm out like that. He's, okay, Tazz. Tazz, just relax. Just relax. Okay, you're doing very, very well, Tazz. Doing so very, very well. I've done this at least 3 times before, don't worry. There, see, laughter. Laughter is very good medicine, laughter. For you, probably, cardiology is better. Yes? Yes? Okay, you just relax. You're going to feel a little pinch. A little pinch. Okay, there you go. Now you're going to feel, oh, there you go. You're going to feel a little burning, sorry. Burning is ironically the freezing. Burning, freezing, you're doing very, very well, Tazz. You're in good hands. I'm very, very good at what I do, and you're good at what you do, okay? So there you go. There, you're gonna feel a little pressure, okay? And now die. Pardon? And now die. Die? Yes, we put die in through there to see where the blockage is in your heart. Then you say coloring, you say coloring. You don't say die, you say coloring. Okay, passing on, moving forward, moving forward. Okay, a prick. Oh, another needle? No, you're a prick. Yeah. And that's the story of my first heart attack. And I say first because it changed my life, everything but diet and exercise. So have yourself a good night. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is our Virgin Territory show. I'm Gavin Crawford. Good night, everybody.